Welcome to saltCast. I'm Bob Turner, and I am the director of the Sunset Academy of Leadership Training, or SALT, here at the Sunset International Bible Institute. And these podcasts are designed to provide leadership development and training for congregations that have that need. When we think about the idea of leadership within this country and the churches of Christ within this country, there is such an incredible need that exists. Approximately 65% of congregations in this country have no elders at all. And the remaining 35%, or approximately 35%, have too few to really keep up with the demands and the changes that are taking place within congregations and the cultural element that exists within our country. So there's an incredible need that exists. And so SALT is designed for the purpose of not only equipping and strengthening current leaders in many areas that are needed, but at the same time to prepare the next generation and to put in place those components that are needed to provide a development for the next generation of leaders. Now, there are a number of areas in which we plan to provide tools that will help leaders in those positions and to prepare congregations to have leaders for the future. One of those areas is to provide some resources such as online material. In fact, if you go to the website, www.salt.sunset.bible, you'll find there on the website approximately 80 lessons that can be downloaded by congregations for the purpose of having ongoing classes that are used to equip individuals to lead and to be a part of the leadership development that's needed in that congregation. In addition to that, we provide various workshops and seminars that are enabling congregations to have ongoing training, to provide for leaders, and to develop future leaders. As well, we want to use these saltCasts as a way in which we can provide materials that will help equip individuals in various areas of leadership that will benefit them. Today, I want us to focus specifically on an area that involves some material that was written by Eric Geiger and Kevin Peck in their book, Designed to Lead. In this particular book, they talk about how that the church itself, as we know it, was designed for the purpose of preparing leaders for the future and in our present. Within that, they talk about three specific areas, but I think it's important there are a couple of other components that we need to add to what they describe that will help us in this first session. First of all is the idea that we need to be centered. And when I talk about being centered, I'm referring to our focus, the purpose, the very identity of the church and her leaders. And without that centering component, it's very difficult to move into the areas in which this book, Designed to Lead, describes. But with a center, with that focus, with a vision of where we're going and who we are, we understand the need then for conviction. The importance of conviction has to do with a burning passion, as Geiger and Peck describe it. It's a non-negotiable that exists as a part of the vision of a local church. There must be a conviction that what we are about is preparing individuals to lead God's people. In addition to that conviction, there has to be a culture. A culture involves shared beliefs and values. It becomes a part of the core identity of the church. And cultures are different. Cultures from the north to the south and from the east to the west. Culture is just different. And what the church needs is a cultural element that exists because our shared beliefs and our values involve developing individuals to lead. So based upon knowing our center and that conviction that exists that we are designed to lead and to prepare individuals to lead, we work to create a culture where that thrives. In addition to that, we must create constructs. By constructs, we're talking about systems and processes, the programs that are put in place to develop leaders. The church is involved in a number of different areas, but certainly one that we need to have is the various systems and processes that are in place that are designed to prepare leaders. Think about it for just a moment. If everything that we did, every activity, every program, every lesson, everything was designed around the purpose of preparing individuals to lead in their homes, lead on their jobs, lead in their communities, and lead in the church, how much difference would it make for the church today? The last area that also is very critical when we think about the design of the church to lead involves communication. Because while we may talk about the importance of being centered and having that focus, that vision of who we are and where we're going, and we understand the component of conviction that is needed, that this is the non-negotiable of who we are. And we work to create that culture, and we put in place the constructs by which we accomplish this. It must be communicated. One of the areas that for me personally I hear the most about as I travel around and visit with congregations, especially in regards to leadership, is either the lack of or the poor communication that exists between leaders and the congregation. And so this component of communication involves really a key to our success. And effective communication involves learning to listen, but it also involves learning to speak clearly and to be able to provide the kind of information that informs others as to what is going on within a congregation. I would really recommend, if you have an opportunity, to purchase this book by Eric Geiger and Kevin Peck, Designed to Lead. It really is a foundational piece as we think about what leadership involves in the need for the church to design itself around this component. And as we continue to build upon today's thoughts in this saltCast, we want to continue to build upon the ideas of helping leaders to strengthen them in their role within the church, but as well to help design plans that will provide the type of training that's needed for the next generation to lead in the future. I hope you'll join us as we continue to talk about the importance of leadership and look at a number of different areas that involve leadership within the church today. Thank you for tuning in today, and I look forward to visiting with you more about leadership as we continue to talk in these various avenues to strengthen leaders in the church.